they make themselves silly even in front of everybody else just to make you laugh. Maybe you don't remember that. You'll just say, "Stop it, Dad, you're embarrassing me." "Stop it, Mom. You're embarrassing me." "You're embarrassing me. We're old enough already. Don't kiss me anymore, goodbye." Sometimes when they grow up as a kid, when you bring them to school, they're like, no, don't kiss me anymore. People will see. I'm old already. Why not? When they get so much affection as children. Even if you can't say no yet when you were children, when you were a baby. Right? You give it brightens the parents, it brightens their day. Such affection can be given in words such as, "I love you, Mom." Hugs. Of course, the gift. Get the gift. Yeah. And when was the last time you told them that you loved them and hugged them? When was the last time you told your parents you loved them and you hugged them? It says, "Love your parents." We are so busy growing up, we often forget they are also growing old. Love your parents. We are so busy growing up, we often forget they are also growing old. Next thing you know, you go back, "Mom, no." Do we give our mothers the affection they deserve? Do we? Because next thing you know, they can't chase us anymore. Come back here. And the fourth is wisdom. Proverbs chapter 10, verse 1. Says, the Proverbs of Solomon. A wise son brings joy to his father, but a foolish son brings grief to his mother. What does that mean? You think about it. A wise son brings joy to his father, but a foolish son brings grief to his mother. In chapter 17, verse 25, a foolish son brings grief to his father and bitterness to the mother who bore him. And you know what? As Jesus is our model, if you go back to Luke chapter 2, verse 52, the verse after that we read before, Luke chapter 2, verse 52. And Jesus grew in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and man. So Jesus increased in wisdom as he grew from childhood to adulthood. In wisdom, right? Mothers worry enough for their children. We should not give them unnecessary grief. That's true, isn't it? They're not just thinking about you. They're thinking about your siblings as well, not just you. Brothers and or sisters, right? You think of other kids, not just one. And if you have any, but if you have not, they're still thinking about others. Their relatives, their husband's relatives, their husband, like you said. More than you do. Most of the time, we only think of ourselves anyway, but mothers think about almost everything. Sometimes even the unnecessary ones. But they think a lot, They worry a lot. Yeah, they do. Mothers do. They worry about their husband. They worry about their kids. Not just one. If they have a lot, Kuya Irwin got 7. So you think about the kids shouldn't give them unnecessary grief because he's also thinking of other ones. I'm the 12. I hope I didn't give my mother unnecessary grief. So she's thinking of all my other siblings. Imagine that. Bless my mom. Imagine now that I'm appreciating it that I'm thinking about it. Mothers are thinking about everything. The house, food, all other relatives, all other expenses. They plan everything. They think about everything. Mothers worry enough for their children, we should not give them unnecessary grief. They do think a lot. Sometimes unnecessary as well, but they do think a lot. See, much wisdom can come from the advice mothers gives us. That's true. Because mothers always wants the best for their kids. Man, they would advise you, even from love to money to everything. They will say, come over here. They will still give you money. Even though if you are old enough already, mothers will still pass you something, whatever they think they need. Mothers, fathers. That's why our parents is like our personal bank, 24 hours. Our parents, when they have some, they will give. When they have some, they will share. Don't worry, I'll get back to the one that's being reversed. When the children are supposed to be taking care of their parents. When the children get already old and they have a job. I'll get to that point. So much wisdom comes from the advice mothers give. Do we give our mothers wisdom they deserve? Righteousness. The fifth is righteousness. Proverbs chapter 23, 24 and 25. Proverbs chapter 23, verse 24 and 25. The father of a righteous child has great joy. A man who fathers a wise son rejoices in him. May your father and mother rejoice. May she who gave you birth be joyful. The righteous brings joy and gladness to their parents. That's why we, all of us, are children. We should be righteous so our parents would be proud of us, would be happy. I would assume that if your children, are doing righteous thinking, righteous deeds, righteous acts, or righteous thinking, you would be proud of them. And so your parents are also proud of you. More important than any other achievement is that of a righteous character. Anything else is just secondary. Let me repeat that again. More important than any other achievement is that of a righteous character. Anything else is just secondary. However you come to be professional, but if you're not righteous, that's nothing. Education starts from home, isn't it? You could be somebody right there, a professional, and yet if your character stinks, nothing. If you don't have that, do you think your parents will be proud of you? Nothing makes a mother prouder than to have a good or righteous son or daughter. Today, the true righteousness comes through faithfully following Christ. In Romans chapter 3, verse 21 to 24, it says, "But now apart from the law, the righteousness of God has been made known, to which the law and the prophets testify. The righteousness is given through faith in Jesus Christ to all who believe. There is no difference between Jew and Gentile, for all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. And all are justified freely by His grace through the redemption that came by Christ Jesus." Romans chapter 3, verse 21 to 24. Do we give our mothers the righteousness they deserve? The last one is care. Parents or parent figure for some, especially widowed mothers, deserve our care. In 1 Timothy chapter 5, verses 4, 8, and 16, says, "But if a widow has children or grandchildren, they should learn first of all to put their religion into practice by caring for their own family, and so repaying their parents and grandparents, for this is pleasing to God." Remember that, children. Okay? Now that we have work. So if a widow has a child or grandchildren, these should learn first of all to put their religion into practice by caring for their own family. They don't have to be widowed. Put your religion into practice by caring for their own family. And so repaying their parents and grandparents, for this is pleasing to God. Imagine you want to please God before it says obey your parents because this is pleasing to the Lord. Now it says here, repay, care for your own family, and so repaying their parents and grandparents, for this is pleasing to God. You want to please the Lord? Take care of your parents. In verse 8 of chapter 5, anyone who does not provide for their relatives, and especially for their own household, has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. You're worse than an unbeliever. This is verse 8 of 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 8. You have to take care of your family. Your own household. Because if you do, you have denied your faith and you are worse than an unbeliever. Even if you think you're a Christian and confess you are, and yet you don't take care of your family, you're worse than an unbeliever. Right? Verse 16. If any woman who is a believer has widows in her care, she should continue to help them and not let the church be burdened with them, so that the church can help those widows who are really in need. If you're helping some, continue so. If you're taking care of some, or if you're visiting some, continue to do so. In James 1:27 it says, religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this: to look after orphans and widows in their distress and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world. A religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this: to look after orphans and widows in their distress and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world. Indeed, children are to be the parents' social security in America. Social security, when they retire, so they get social security benefits. The social security basically, or over here it could be the children should be their parents' retirement plan. We should take care of our parents when they get older, right? They deserve the best care we can afford to give them because they always wanted the best for us. Sometimes they would even neglect themselves just to give what they wanted for their children. Sometimes they can have the last bite of something they want to eat, but if their child will say, "Can I have it?" they would give it. Or some, they'll play around with it. But anyway, as much as possible, our parents wants the best for us. Sometimes, they even want us to be what they wanted to be when they were younger, and not they want us to be as we would want us to be. So parents, let your children be what they wanted to be, rather than be what you wanted to be when you're younger and you got frustrated. So children, they deserve the best we can afford to give them because they always wanted the best for us. Some may require professional and medical care, but we should not simply drop them off at the nursing home just for our convenience and neglect them. We have to visit them often. Do we give our mothers the care they deserve? So we may choose to give our mothers flowers, cards, gifts on Mother's Day, but every day they rightly deserve our obedience, our respect, our affection, our wisdom, our righteousness, and care. Are we giving our mothers what they deserve? Remember, Love your parents. We are so busy growing up, we often forget they are also growing old. God bless you.